Hey, this is Russell again. I want to welcome you back to part 3 of my interview with Tony Robbins. I hope you've watched part 1 and part 2. If you haven't yet, go back to the beginning of this playlist and watch those first. It'll help you get all the context of the interview. And now we are transitioning into the third part of the interview, which is, for me, my favorite part. It is understanding the mastery and mastering what a concept we call the Epiphany Bridge. What is the Epiphany Bridge? It is the way you tell stories to get customers, to get people, to get prospects to come and become leads, to become customers, to buy your products and your services. And these concepts, they work in all types of businesses. In fact, during the interview, Tony asked me, well, how does this work for like a real business, like not an information business or an internet business, but a real business? And I shared a story about one of my friends who's a chiropractor. I don't want to ruin that part of the story. You're going to love it. But how he used these Epiphany Bridge stories to grow his practice here locally in town as well. And so there's a whole bunch of cool things you're going to learn about storytelling, story selling, how to give people the transformations they need when they're buying your products and your services. You're going to love this. Is my favorite part of the whole thing. So let's jump right in now to part 3 of the interview with my friend Tony Robbins.
Tell us about the Epiphany Bridge and how can you use that concept to sell just about anything without actually selling anything.
Okay, I actually got a little whiteboard for you to show this. So this is, did my homework prepared for today. So this is funny. Most people, if they try to sell you something, they come to you and they try to pitch you logically on the thing that like why they believe in their thing. And so I drew this out one day, and like this has been huge for me and for everyone that goes through my coaching stuff, is this thing called Epiphany Bridge. So what happens is like, this is us right here, right? And we're living our normal life. Like this, I could use this my example with you. Before I met you, before I started going to your things, like life was good, right? I thought everything was perfect, and I was introduced to you, and I had this like epiphany where it's like, oh my gosh, like things, like life is good, but like I'm seeing things in black and white. Now things are colorful, right? And like it changed, for me it was huge. And so I went on this journey where I went on this big Epiphany Bridge, and what happens is we come over here to this side of the bridge, and what happens over here is we start studying, we start learning, we start geeking out. And so like, I went to all your events, I read all your books multiple times, your courses, and like for you, like I'm in the Tony world, right? I understand your language patterns. And then I go to like my wife, and I'm like, and I'm so excited to tell her, and I learned all this stuff. And the first thing that we all do is we jump over here, and this is techno babble. We jump and we start trying to logically convince the people around us, like logically, like, oh yeah, you learned this thing, and we spew out this techno babble. And what happens is that people hear that techno babble and they freak out, and they're like, oh, and they run away, right? So what we have to do, if we want to sell somebody something, we have to come back to this thing. We have to remember, like, what was the emotional experience that we had that gave us that big epiphany? And if you understand that emotional experience, then that's how you sell someone. I come back and I tell a story, and when I tell that story, then my goal is to get people to have the same epiphany that I had. If they have that epiphany, then I don't have to sell them anything. They have that epiphany, like, wow, that's true. And then they'll go sell themselves logically all day long. I just have to come back here, remember the experience I had, and become really good at telling it. And in the book, it's not just like telling a story. I walk through like the process and the scripts and how to control their state. This is a huge thing I learned from you, because how many people tell a story, and like one person tells a story and of what something happened, and you're like, okay, cool. And you're like, no, like you try to explain it 3 or 4 times, and finally you say like, oh man, I guess you had to be there. If you were there, you would have experienced it. The biggest thing I've always seen people struggle with, they try to get into business or try to sell their advice and things like that, is they get into this like used car salesman mode of trying to like learn how to close people. And I'm like, no, it's not closing. Like, what was it that got you fired up? If you can remember that moment and you get really good at telling that story, then they'll feel that and they'll get fired up too. And like that's the key. And so we understand that, and this book is all about that.
Well, as you know, leadership's all about transferring emotion, because logic doesn't get us to take action. There's not enough juice in the logic, right? We only have enough logic to justify an emotional decision. What do you think is the biggest misconception about marketing today? And what do people, if they only did one thing to change their marketing for the better, what would it be?
I think the biggest misconception is that people, and this comes down to everything I learned from you. So it's people are so tied to their significance that when they try to sell themselves, their business, that they try to posture themselves all the time, and the posturing like deflects people, even though it makes you feel, I don't know what it is. The more vulnerable you get, the better it is. Like when people, we have our high-end coaching programs, people ask, how do you sell that, Russell? And like I show a 10-minute video of me telling my story with my wife, and we're trying to have twins, and I cry 3 or 4 times in it, and I tell that story. I'm super vulnerable, and people connect with me. And then they follow me, and like it's about connection and being vulnerable. That's what gets people to draw into. It's not significance and stature. It's vulnerability, and that's what gets people in. And that works for any business. I had a friend who's a chiropractor. I was trying to help him, and it was funny because he's trying to sell like all the other chiropractors, talk about like how their fees and this and all this stuff, and how the adjustment and alignment, all these technical stuff. And I kept asking. Finally one day I was like, why are you a chiropractor? And he told me this amazing story about his wife got in a car wreck, and he was in dental school at the time, and she got injured really, really bad, and took her to a medical doctor in a couple places, and nothing helped. And finally, he took her to a chiropractor, and he adjusted her and changed her. She literally changed her life. And he loved it so much, he dropped out of dental school, and then he went and he became a chiropractor. Now he just loves it. And so we got a video of him telling that story, that emotion. I got chills just telling it again. Told that story, put it on Facebook, and his practice that was struggling as he was trying to be a salesperson blew up overnight as he started sharing his story and becoming vulnerable with people. And I think that that's the future of marketing. It used to be slick sales letters, good copy, all that kind of stuff. That's what worked before. Today, like, we're in a society, like, as people are watching your video, they're Googling your name and Facebooking you and doing everything. And if you're not vulnerable all times and being yourself all the time, like it's too easy to not know. And it's all about just that connection. That's what gets people. That's marketing today. That's where it's going.
That's what I love about you, brother. I mean, you're the real thing. It's so rare, unfortunately. And as you know, the more you try to prove that you're, the best, and try to convince people and try to be significant, the more they want to prove they're more significant than you. So you've never done that. I love that you share openly everything, your failures, successes, but the level of success you generated is second to none. I really want people to get your book. So what's your offer for them so they can go pick that up?
Cool. So I pre-bought a whole bunch of copies of this during our launch, and so I've already paid for the book, and I shipped them to Boise, but now they're in a warehouse in Boise, and we got to ship them to you. So I think it's in the U.S. it's $7.95. It's international. I think it's $14.95, but we'll ship it out to you. And basically, I want people to read this. The thing I tell everyone, like, I believe this book will change your life, but, like, more importantly, it's going to give you the tools you need to help change other people's lives. And that's the gift I have for everybody. I hope you guys read this book and you love it. And I want to thank you for letting me share this with your audience, and just appreciate you. You've changed my life, my wife's life, and half our staff, everyone here. So we are so grateful for you. Hey, this is Russell again. Thank you so much for watching the third and final segment of my interview with Tony Robbins. How cool is that? Now, if you missed any of the other ones, go back in the playlist and watch video 1, video 2, video 3 to get the entire picture of everything you need. Now, on top of that, I want to be able to keep giving you amazing business building advice just like this. So what you need to do right now, number 1, you need to subscribe to my channel. We're always dropping amazing videos showing you what to do and how to do it. And if you're missing these things, how am I supposed to help you and serve you? It doesn't cost you any money. This is all free that we're giving to you to be able to help grow your company and grow your businesses. So number 1, subscribe to our channel. Number 2, turn on the notifications. That way on your phone, it's going to pop up when we drop new videos. You'll get emails, you get notifications. If you don't turn on notifications, you're not going to know when the new stuff's coming out, okay? And I am killing myself over here creating the best content possible to give you and to serve you. And so make sure you are subscribed and turn on notifications. And then the last thing, if you don't have a copy yet of the Expert Secrets book, this is what Tony and I were talking about the whole time. There will be a link somewhere on the screen. Click on the link, get a copy of the book. It's free. You just cover shipping and handling. And in here, you're going to understand how to build an expert business, okay? And so that's kind of it, you guys. Thank you again so much for subscribing. With that said, after you're done, after you turn on notifications and you subscribe, go check out some other videos, have some fun, leave some comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.